The story begins with a strange-looking planet located in an entirely different galaxy. We learn that the environment on this planet has become severely damaged, making it completely uninhabitable. As a result, the alien civilization living there boards their spaceships in search of a new planet. Eventually, all their attention is indirectly drawn toward a planet in the Milky Way galaxy, Earth. All the alien spaceships set Earth as their target and begin heading straight toward it. But what kind of destruction they will unleash on Earth, and how they plan to dominate all of humanity, is the shocking part. Now, we are introduced to 3 students on Earth: Bert, Anna, and Augie. All 3 are deeply interested in space exploration subjects. That's why they arrive at a forested area where they heard that an asteroid had fallen. Unfortunately, despite trying hard, they can't find the asteroid. Anna and Augie grow frustrated. They had been searching for the asteroid for so long and wanted to be the first to study it. Augie tells his friends that many asteroids have landed on Earth this year, more than ever before. If they could study them properly, their names could be recorded in the history books. Since they find nothing, Bert invites them to his home for breakfast. Bert's mom is a little angry with him for going into the forest without telling anyone, considering how dangerous it can be. But Bert, Augie, and Anna focus on their breakfast while discussing how they'll track down the asteroid. During this conversation, Bert's mom mentions that an asteroid recently fell in a nearby area and was reported by media officials. Apparently, even the police are investigating it. Upon hearing this, the 3 kids immediately leave their breakfast and rush to that location. When they arrive, they find many people already observing the object that crashed to the ground. The size is massive, but it doesn't look like a typical asteroid from any angle. Bert and his friends want to get a closer look, but the police have cordoned off the area, and no one is allowed inside. So Bert, Anna, and Augie sneak around to the back. The officers don't notice them slipping past security. Eventually, they make it quite close to the object, and now they can clearly see that it's not an asteroid at all. It appears to be some kind of spaceship that has landed. As they get closer, Augie accidentally touches the object, and his hand suddenly starts burning intensely, even though the temperature reading shows it's normal. Bert and Augie begin investigating it more thoroughly, when suddenly, the ship's door opens. The door is designed in a strange way, and there's a faint light glowing inside. Within moments, they see shadows moving inside, with large tentacles. These are the same advanced alien beings, whose body structure resembles that of an octopus. Bert and his friends can clearly see the alien emitting black-colored fog from its mouth. What this fog was, and why the aliens were releasing it, remains a mystery. Terrified, the 3 rush back to the police officers and try to explain everything. But who would believe kids? Dr. Sting, the official investigator assigned to the case, arrives at the scene. She calmly tells the kids that they should return home immediately. The area may become an asteroid blast zone, and the entire city is being quarantined and evacuated. If they don't leave quickly, their lives may be in danger. Bert can't understand why no one believes them, even when they're telling the truth. But shortly after, the gigantic creature inside the object emerges, and its size has drastically increased. The octopus-like alien now approaches the humans and begins firing a laser beam, killing people instantly. Everyone starts running in panic, trying to save their lives. In a single strike, the alien wipes out many humans. The officers try their best to evacuate the civilians to prevent more casualties. Meanwhile, Anna and Augie escape the area on their bicycles, trying to get far away from the forest and reach home. They are completely overwhelmed and have no idea what to do in such a situation. Suddenly, they see another asteroid falling over their town. It might also be an alien of the same octopus-like species, arriving in a spaceship. This realization terrifies them even more, so they head to Bert's house. But upon arrival, they discover that Bert's mother and the rest of his family have already been evacuated. Now only the 3 of them remain, and their lives may be in serious danger. They see massive alien creatures wreaking havoc, and their terrifying sounds can be heard from afar. Military soldiers and fighter jets are immediately dispatched to launch an attack, indicating that this battle will be extremely dangerous and destructive. To find out more, Bert turns on the news, where some people believe this is divine punishment from God. A priest on a news channel claims that God is angry and will destroy the earth completely unless humanity seeks forgiveness. Dr. Sting, the official investigator, advises everyone to stay in their homes and that evacuation efforts are ongoing. However, she warns that these aliens are beyond human control and should be avoided. They possess high-tech gadgets, and although the military is doing its best to stop them, there's no guarantee of success. This news spreads even more panic. Bert and his friends, terrified, hide inside the house. They try calling their parents, but there's no response. Either their families have been killed, or they've already been relocated to a safer place. They have no idea how to survive this nightmare. To make things worse, all mobile networks are down. No one can contact anyone. Due to this, Anna and Augie decide that they will stay in the house until things calm down. After waiting for a while, they hear noises outside. Looking through the window, they see a terrified soldier. Bert and his friends bring the soldier inside to help him. The soldier introduces himself as Ben, a fighter in the battle against the aliens. But the problem is that the aliens are so advanced, they've already wiped out his entire team. Although the soldiers tried using their weapons, the aliens' technology, especially their laser beams, is incredibly powerful and no one can survive it. One by one, the alien forces are destroying military squads. The scariest part is that the aliens' size keeps increasing day by day. It seems that Earth's environment is nourishing them, allowing them to grow rapidly. Bert becomes extremely worried about his mother and asks Ben to find out if she was rescued. Ben uses a radio device to try and connect with his battalion. After several attempts, he finally gets through. The team relays critical information. More than half of their soldiers are dead, and even the fighter jets have taken severe damage. They're not in a condition to fight the aliens with full force anymore. The government has officially announced that the entire city is to be evacuated. They are preparing to drop an atomic bomb, the only remaining option to wipe out the aliens completely. But this is the worst news for those who are still trapped inside the city. Like Bert and his friends. If they don't get out in time, they will be destroyed in the bomb's aftermath. Evacuation is absolutely necessary now. Ben commits to helping them escape and stays connected to the rest of his team throughout the rescue mission. Outside, the octopus-like alien creatures were still wreaking havoc. But the group knew they had to leave eventually, so they began gathering food and supplies and set off using bikes. These octopus aliens had completely destroyed nature. Many animals were killed, and the surroundings looked like a graveyard, with human casualties scattered around. Ben, the soldier, knew which direction to go, so he continued to guide them forward. Soon, they saw a massive alien ahead, one that had demolished an entire building. To avoid it, the group chose a different path and quickly reached a military border zone, where many soldiers and fighter jets were stationed. These jets were flying overhead to try and stop the alien invasion, but the chances of success seemed very slim. Anna and Augie felt a bit safer in the soldiers' camp, believing they might survive now, but they still didn't know whether their parents were safe. They knew they couldn't stay here long, as the aliens were advancing in their direction. Anna and Augie decided to move forward, while Ben stayed behind, as it was his duty as a soldier to stand and fight with his comrades, even if the odds of success were low. Still, Ben was determined to do whatever he could. Anna and Augie left Ben and decided to continue by boat, heading out via the water route. But their luck turned bad. A huge alien blocked their path. As people panicked and fled, the alien began attacking both military forces and civilians alike. It emitted deadly energy beams from its body that could disintegrate human bodies instantly. The scale of human loss was unimaginable, yet the stationed military forces did not retreat. They fought back fiercely, launching bomb blasts directly at the alien. After a continuous bombardment, the alien was finally destroyed, blasted apart. Bert and his friends felt a spark of hope. They had just seen an alien die before their eyes. If they could maintain this coordination, perhaps the aliens could be defeated. But this explosion attracted other aliens. Their numbers had now greatly increased, and even the military forces couldn't stop them. The aliens kept attacking, mercilessly killing civilians. The entire evacuation process collapsed, and people could only try to save themselves. This terrifying chaos continued for hours, until the aliens eventually moved on. Bert and his friends had been hiding in a safe spot, avoiding the worst of the destruction. Once night fell, they used a boat to continue their journey via the river. This river led toward New York City, and they now had to travel the rest of the way by water. As they moved, they passed what remained of their hometown, now in ruins. Skyscrapers and apartments had been destroyed, and the population was virtually wiped out. Continuing by river, they eventually reached a forest path, where they disembarked. Deeper in the woods, they encountered the same priest they had seen earlier on television. The one who claimed this was God's punishment. Anna and Augie questioned him, asking on what basis he made such claims. But the priest simply repeated himself. These events were a punishment from God, intended to wipe out all of humanity. Bert and his friends knew the priest's words made no logical sense, so Bert only asked him for directions out of the city. Interestingly, the priest chose to join them, increasing the group's strength in numbers. Now they could face any threats together. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they discovered an abandoned apartment building. Its owners were clearly gone, and the house was empty. To stay safe, they entered the apartment and began searching for food and resources. Luckily, they found enough to survive for a few days. While exploring the apartment, the priest began losing his mental balance. He started fighting with Bert, Anna, and Augie, claiming that they didn't need to survive. He believed that if they died, everything would be resolved. He was determined to sacrifice himself, and when Augie tried to stop him, the priest pulled out a knife. Because of this, none of them dared to approach him and chose to stay away for their own safety. Bert also tried to stop the priest, but the priest punched him to the ground. With no other option, the three of them quietly spent the night in the apartment. The priest, meanwhile, claimed all the supplies for himself and slept there as well. The next morning, Bert woke up to a strange noise and looked outside. He saw that the dangerous octopus-like alien was nearby. The alien was approaching steadily. Bert immediately warned his friends, and they began to retreat into the house. But the priest, who wanted to die, refused to move away from the window. The alien's tentacle sensed his presence, entered the house, grabbed the priest and took him away, killing him in a horrible way. The remaining three hid quietly inside as the alien's tentacle searched for them. Since Bert and his friends didn't make a sound, the alien couldn't locate them and eventually moved on, continuing its destruction elsewhere. After waiting for several hours, Bert, Anna, and Augie gathered their supplies and finally left the apartment. They traveled cautiously and re-entered the city, only to find that its condition had worsened severely. They noticed that strange plants and alien fungi had begun growing over the buildings. Clearly, the aliens were trying to reshape Earth's environment to suit their own needs. If this continued, Earth would no longer be livable for humans, a major crisis that had to be stopped quickly. Our story ends here. To watch part 2, wait for next video.